Yo, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the daily drops of Dexter Dewayne. I know it's a mouthful. I just kind of came up with that off the jump, but we're just going to roll with it because that's not the point. The name isn't the point. The whole point of this is to check in every day just to essentially get data. Like all 365 of these. I'm super tired because I'm tired and I'm also really excited for all the stuff I'm about to get into today. But yeah, the whole point of these 365 days of 2025 is consistency. The whole point is to just be consistent. The whole point is just to show up every day and just say, these are the things I did, and here are the programs that I'm following and how they went. So we can just start off with the meat and potatoes of it. For 75 hard, this is day 2. So I've done everything except for the 10 pages of reading, drinking a gallon of water, and then my 45-minute workout. All that stuff is going well. A little tired from it, but if I was drinking water, then maybe I wouldn't be as tired, but it's all good. But yeah. Uh, one thing I've noticed be when I try to get into like a consistent rhythm, one of the things that I notice is that it usually ends around day 4 or day 5. And I'm not entirely sure why. It just does. And I'm curious to see what type of stuff hops um, into my life or into that path that might deter me from showing up tomorrow or the next day or the next day or the next day, right? The thing about like being consistent and the thing about like having discipline, both of those things require you to show up regardless of if you feel like it or not. And I've had some trouble, especially as an adult. I would say, like when you're a kid, you have to eat your fruits and vegetables. You got to eat, everything. You got to clear your plate and all this other stuff, right? You have to go to school. You have to, get on the bus. You have to wake up early. You have to show up somewhere. Same thing with jobs. Like you have to go there. You have to do your assignments and stuff like that. Um, but some areas, as you get older, you'll hit a point in your life where you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do a single thing. Um, at 18 years old, no one's forcing you to go to the gym. At 18 years old, no one's forcing you to go to college. Well, some people might be, but most people aren't being forced to go to college. So you're not being forced to get an education. You're not being forced to brush your teeth. You're not being forced to take a bath. You're not being forced to make your bed. As an adult, you're not being forced to stick to a diet. You're not forced to do anything. So that's where discipline comes in. Like being forced to do stuff, it's easy. It's like never gonna miss a day of school if I have to be there. And there's heavy duty consequences if I'm not there. So let me just show up to school. But if there's no consequences for not showing up, then why would I show up? And it's easy to get really derailed when it comes to being the person you feel like you should be or being the person that you're capable of being. Because it basically looks like this, right? It's most people think, let's just take working out, for example, because that's like a primary focus for this particular phase for me. If I do the bare minimum, the workouts in my like physical health and stuff like that, it'll be like here, right? If I push myself, then it might be like exponential and it will go up. Most people think if they don't work out, it'll be a straight line. But really, it's slowly decreasing. It's slowly going down. Why is that? It's because anything that you're not giving attention to is slowly going to disintegrate. It's going to deteriorate. It's going to go away. It's like what you don't use, you lose. And if you fail to use your arms, right? You fail to use your legs. You fail to use your brain. You fail to use all of these things that God has given you. You find yourself in a situation where you're going to need to use those things, and you're not going to be as good as you were because you haven't been using them in a long time. It's what I talked about yesterday, the whole like basketball stuff. You take a shot, it's like, man, I haven't done this in like 20 years. That shot's not going to go in. It's not going to go in. And it's the same thing with my workouts as well. Like, someone might look at my workout routine right now and be like, oh, yeah, you can definitely crank it up. I don't know why he's taking it so easy. It's like, I got to think about my joints. I got to think about my knees. I got to think about like my cardiovascular system and how it's not as good. It hasn't been primed to do the harder stuff in a long time. A little bit of history. Once upon a time ago, I think this is back in 2018, 2019. I was deployed. I was working out like, 4 o'clock in the morning, going to the gym, got my creatine and whey protein and all that other stuff in, man. I got into a pretty good shape, and I had some pretty good momentum going. Came home and, I ride a motorcycle. So I ended up just hopping on my bike, ride my bike. I ride down the road and I hit a pothole, and that pothole, it tweaked my lower back, and I should have got checked out for it, but I didn't. So it ended up tweaking my lower back, and I was like, oh well, my back's just hurting, but it's fine. It should probably go away. It's probably just bruised or whatever. And, yeah, I mean, it'll probably heal itself. That was my mentality. And after a couple of days, I was like, man, I really need to work out. So I took these dumbbells. Matter of fact, I still have the dumbbells right here. These are Bowflex adjustable dumbbells, right? So I took these, and they have these things called twisted shoulder presses. So you take both of these, you lift it up, and then you twist, right? So when I did this movement, when I went up and twist, my lower back had to activate. And that was probably the worst pain that I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I didn't go get checked out or anything. It was just painful, and it turned into a mental thing, honestly. I just kind of stopped working out because I didn't want to ruin my back. I didn't want my back to go out. I didn't get checked. I mean, hey, that was me just being dumb. I probably could have got checked, and we could have saw and worked something out, or I could have been flexible. But at the time, I was just terrified of working out because I just didn't want to tweak my back the way that I tweaked it again. I didn't want to get paralyzed or whatever the case is. So there was a lot of stuff that I just couldn't let go, and I couldn't let go for a long time. And I ended up gaining a bunch of weight. I think the highest I got, I ended up getting into the 200s, and then 210s, and then 225. I think I just stayed there for the longest time. And then after that, I was never really the same afterwards. So I did start running again, and then that sort of fell off because the whole move thing. Not going to get into it, but I had to move jobs and stuff, and it basically just made my life a lot more complicated. Not just like logistically, but like financially as well. And it just became stressful, and the reliever of stress probably could have been to go to the gym, but I was so tired every day. And again, it goes back to not having to do anything. Didn't have to do it, so I just didn't. So anyways, yeah, just going through all of that, I just felt like I almost felt defeated. And as I was going through my devotional today, we talked about like letting go of the past. It's like who I was is not who I am. I'm reading this off of my notes here. Be honest with yourself and about yourself. You got to forgive yourself and own the part that you've played. And the verse of the day was Isaiah 40:31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Get rid of all the guilt and embrace God's promises. Forgive yourself daily. And it was never something that I was able to forgive myself until recently. I wasn't able to let go of that part of myself until like way, way later. Um, it was hard to forget, you know. Come on, you take your shirt off, you look in the mirror, and you're like, man, I don't just let me just put the shirt back on. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it, you know. So it was hard to forget because you're constantly like looking at yourself and it's like, okay, this is my identity. My identity is just someone that's just not, you know, someone that takes care of themselves. And that was difficult. So comes into play all the stuff that I talked about. Um, you know, just focusing for the next 6 months to really just one, get back into a groove, and two, um, reset the thoughts that I thought about myself and turn them into new thoughts. And I already talked about this before. It's one of my sorry, let me find. All right, so health and fitness. All right, so I'm just going to read a couple from this. So physically strong and resilient. So I'm just going to, so there's different like categories, and I'm just going to read one from each category. So for physically strong and resilient, I prioritize fitness as a foundation for everything I do. I make exercise a non-negotiable part of my daily routine because I understand that a strong body supports a strong mind and soul. I don't just exercise for short-term goals like weight loss or muscle gain. My focus is on long-term health and vitality. I understand that maintaining a healthy body is a lifelong pursuit, not a quick fix. I fuel my body with the right foods, understanding that nutrition plays a huge role in my overall health. I make intentional choices that support my physical and mental performance. I recognize that mental health is just as important as physical health. I actively manage stress through healthy outlets like exercise, meditation, journaling, and connecting with nature. I am consistent with my health and fitness habits, even on the days when I don't feel like it. I don't aim for perfection, but for progress. I know that small daily efforts compound over time, leading to lasting results. I recognize the importance of rest in my fitness journey. I make sure I get enough sleep each night, understanding that sleep is essential for recovery, mental clarity, and overall health. I embrace my body and appreciate its strength and capabilities. I focus on how my body feels and performs rather than solely on aesthetics or numbers. I honor my body's needs and celebrate what it can do. I have abundant energy to tackle the challenges of the day. I'm not sluggish or fatigued, but vibrant and ready to take on whatever comes my way. I hold myself accountable for my health and fitness goals. I track progress, whether through workouts, nutrition, mental health check-ins, to ensure I stay on track. And the most important category, right? Who I will not be in health and fitness. I will not push my body to the point of injury or burnout. I understand the importance of rest and recovery, and I do not overtrain or sacrifice my well-being for the sake of progress. I will not overlook the importance of mental wellness in my health journey. I will not ignore stress, anxiety, or emotional struggles. I will actively address these issues with healthy coping mechanisms and seek support when needed. I will not engage in extreme diets or restrictive eating habits that are unsustainable. I will not allow myself to become inactive or complacent with a sedentary lifestyle. I will not let perfectionism derail my progress. So that's just kind of like um, kind of a snippet of essentially who the best version of me is, and reflecting on things to let go. Um, the mentality of like I'm someone that needs to be fixed has to go away. So, yeah, this was a little bit deeper. I think action items. I still have another workout to do. I still have water to drink, and I still have a book to read. Um, Other than that, um, I think today went pretty well. And shoot, yeah, I mean, we'll see you guys on the next one. Out.